congratulations on the film. It opened Christmas Day.
Yes.
It's a wonderful life for horny women everywhere. It's a beautiful film. I got to go see a screening last month, and you were there. You introduced the movie, and you introduced the movie with a question. You said, every good story starts with a question, and this film's question is, can you love even the most shameful parts of yourself? How did you go? Well, first of all, as someone who's binge-watched 11 seasons of Real Housewives of New York, I can answer that for you. It's yes. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. But how did you go from asking yourself that question to building this beautiful, vulnerable, raw story?
Well, I knew also I wanted to make something about my sort of quest. I always want to be normal. That's my whole thing. There's a sentence in the movie, a line that Nicole Kidman says to her husband, Antonio Banderas. She goes, I just want to be normal. I want to be the woman you like.
Yes.
I want to be what you like. And so my movie is sort of a letter to myself to kind of encourage myself to become more unapologetically my authentic self, without shame.
Yes.
But, very important, I also wanted it to be funny. I really wanted it to be funny because I think humor is what connects all of us.
Yeah.
And I just...
Yes. Agreed.
Yeah, and I just thought I wanted to make a big American movie. You know, I come from Amsterdam, from a very small country. And so I didn't just want to make like a small movie about female desire. I wanted to make a big, fun movie. And
Yeah.
I think because of my great actors, we hopefully succeeded.
Oh, you did. You absolutely fulfilled that desire to make it. There were laugh out loud moments. It was fascinating. It was exciting. It was tense. Nicole Kidman stars in this movie. The legendary Nicole Kidman. I love the way that you played with humor. You say that this film was that it was marketed as a psychological erotic thriller, but that you call it a comedy of manners.
Yes, I do. I mean, I also think we play with the thriller tropes, and I love the sexual thrillers of the 90s, Fatal Attraction, Unfaithful, Basic Instinct, you name it, I love all of them, 9.5 Weeks. They just all tended to sort of punish the lead who would be the cheater or the woman, the femme fatale, and I don't like to punish my characters. I just really loved to be human about them and really show that we all are angels and devils. We all have a dark side. And if we accept the dark side and if we dare to look at it, we can actually sort of like befriend it. But if we suppress it, and in that sense, my movie is a little bit a cautionary tale, if you will, of what happens when you suppress that side of yourself. And so that's really what I set out to do. So the thriller aspect is definitely there, but then in the second half of it, we kind of take it more into a human level so that hopefully people can relate to it.
I love the way that you played with that trope, because I loved those movies from the 90s too, but no one's ever done it from the female perspective. No. And so you were really subverting expectations, which you do often. Your movie Bodies, Bodies, Bodies also plays with the genre of the horror film.
Yes.
But you subvert expectations in that. Is something is that what you look to seek out to do with all of your work?
Yeah, I just think I want to create my own genre, so I don't really look at like, oh, I should entrap myself in one. I just feel like I can mix it up. And I'm really looking, again, like, and I'm talking to myself because it's really hard to do, but I'm looking for my own uniqueness in that, and I think that is how I can connect to others. So the more I can be my authentic self within what I do, within what I make, I feel that I can connect to others more. And so my style is to go from a horror, like Bodies, 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 and then make it in the end, there is no killer in Bodies. You know, everybody dies, but they just
Spoiler,
start...
in case you haven't seen it.
Sorry, A24. Oh, God, now they're
still
angry.
Worth a watch. Still worth a watch. Still worth a watch. You were an internationally celebrated actress before you became a director.
Well, internationally celebrated, yes, okay. Mainly in the Netherlands.
Go with it. That is your authentic self.
Yes, that is my authentic self.
Don't suppress
Here
the
we
beast.
go. Okay.
You were, and I'm curious how you use your experience as an actress to direct your actors.
Yes, no, I think having been an actress, my full priority is always to make actors feel safe. And of course, physically, with the intimacy scenes and all of that, but also emotionally. emotionally. I think for actors it's very hard sometimes to play these emotional, embarrassing scenes. And because I know how vulnerable this profession is, I think I can really be at their level instead of like sitting on a high chair with a North Face jacket, eating pizza and saying, crawl around, cry, undress. Like that's how I often experienced when I was doing movies.
Yes, that's how our director works here. He does.
Oh my
He does.
Where is he?
That's a lie. That's not true. David Paul Meyer, who is nominated for 2 DGA awards today. So, we'll give
But no, so and also I was mainly a stage actress, so I played Shakespeare and Ibsen and Chekhov, and because we used to play those plays not just a week or a couple of weeks, but our runs were like for years. So I lived inside these plays, and these characters lived inside of me, and I think that's what taught me writing. And so everything that I do really comes from that, and my collaborative nature. Also, I was raised by radical hippies in the Netherlands, so So I love to collaborate with my actors instead of, doing this kind of pyramid hierarchy. For me, it's all doing it together and making everybody, also the crew, very, very important, make everybody feel involved.
When we spoke at your screening, you said you would get down on the floor and sit with them and show them that this is safe to do. Like you would kind of do some of the physicality so that they felt comfortable.
Yes, and Nicole also developed this habit, and she's very open about it, of asking me. She would be like, you do it first.
Good for her. Yeah.
So we would act together a little bit, I love rehearsing individually. So rehearsing in a group can be incredibly embarrassing, as you know. You're an actress as well.
Sure.
And so
it's all embarrassing.
It's all embarrassing. It's all very. Life is embarrassing, but
embrace it.
No, we love to do these individual rehearsals, and then I would act out all the different parts with them, and they really love that. It's playful, and you kind of like playfully get into it instead of like immediately having this pressure on you and feeling the director's over there and you're over here and you're struggling. So I just like to be with them in it.
Yeah, I wish more directors worked like you. Really, like Hollywood needs more directors like you, and sorry, less like Brett Ratner. I really enjoyed that these two characters, it wasn't just Romy who had her own journey, who had her own path. She was looking to accept these sort of shameful parts of herself, while the character of Samuel was also trying to navigate something in his world, how to be a man in today's society. What does masculinity look like? What does consent look like? Were these all things that you were plotting out in the story, or did they develop later as you started rehearsing?
No, absolutely. I wanted to make a comedy of manners again about power and consent, sexuality, and femininity, of course, is my priority. I am a woman, so I write from the female gaze. I do anything from the female gaze, but the movie is just as much about masculinity. So what you're saying is we're not showing a classical story about a sub and a dom at all. They are both vulnerable. They are both interested in what is power, what is surrender, what is giving up control, what is taking control. And they're both really in a crisis. She's in a full-on midlife crisis, where she sees, okay, the horizon is over there. What am I doing? Where am I going? And she thinks she can be this perfect creature if she does enough, ice baths and Botox and therapy. She can become a perfect woman, and she has to accept through meeting Samuel that she has to connect to her inner beast. But him as well, he's in a crisis in the sense that he's taking his first steps into the world as a man, and he doesn't know how to behave. He doesn't know how to be around power or how to be around an older woman, and I wanted to show that vulnerability. And I think sexuality, to me, it can sometimes be very hot, of course, but it can also be very vulnerable and weird and clunky and uncomfortable. And I wanted to show all of that, because I think when you see that, you kind of relate to it. And then in the end, when it does work, then it becomes way more sexy than if you just show this perfect Hollywood fairy tale. I didn't want to do that.
Yes. Speaking of sexuality, one of the sexier scenes in the movie involved a full glass of milk. Now, Nicole Kidman was brave enough to bear it all in this movie, but I think that the bravest thing that she did was guzzle a glass of milk on camera. She drinks the whole thing. This was inspired from something that actually happened to you?
Yeah, so I was playing Hedda Gabler one night in Antwerp, and after that show, because it's a huge role, and I had so much adrenaline, I didn't want to go to bed, and all my colleagues were boring, and they went to the hotel. And so I went alone to this cafe, as we say in the Netherlands, to this bar, and I sat there and I ordered a Diet Coke or something, a non-alcoholic drink.
Wait, bars are called cafes?
Cafe, yeah, we say you go to a cafe.
I'm gonna start using that. Oh, honey, no, I'm just gonna go to the cafe. I'm gonna leave work and go to the cafe. I'll be right back.
So I was sitting in this cafe ordering my Diet Coke and you know, just couldn't sleep. So, and then this young man was sitting on the other end of the bar. He was a young actor that I knew of, but I had never spoken to. And suddenly the waiter put a glass of milk, full milk, in front of me. And I was like, what? And then he pointed at this young man. And I thought it was so incredibly courageous. I thought it was so ballsy to do that. And so I just, as a reward, I drank the whole thing. It did make me nauseated. It felt like,
you nauseous?
yes, yeah, nauseous.
Yeah,
and,
as it would.
In the movie, of course, Harris then walks out of the bar. Harris Dickinson, who plays Samuel, he walks out of the bar and then he says in her ear, "Good girl."
Yes, I remember quite well.
Unfortunately, this young Belgian actor did not do that. He just walked out.
Well, if he's watching now, that's maybe we can change
time.
that. We'll rewrite history. I have one more question. I just have to ask you for some advice. We have a new group of interns starting today. Do you have any advice for them?
No. I'm not going to go there with you. No advice.
Not with HR watching.